Don Poyer on an 85-degree day here in Madison, Indiana. A beautiful afternoon. Jim Hendrick down in the pits to talk with Steve Reynolds and what happened to his boat this afternoon.
Took him a long time to get back in after a fine showing the first time in the boat in competition. Why did you keep going around?
There's a whole new cockpit. I didn't know where the fuel shutoff was, and we lost our low speed cutoff. They must have shorted out. I couldn't turn the motor off, and then when I went, oh yeah, the fuel shutoff's under the seat, and I pulled it, and I went, whoops.
And nothing?
Once I lost the charge down at the other end, I couldn't restart it. So
you had to run out of gas to stop?
Virtually, I ran it out of gas.
Well, you'll be ready for the next heat.
We'll be in it, Jim.
Fix the short, will you?
Okay.
Don, back to you.
Jim down at the Squire Shop camp. This is Jim Harvey. Boy, he's got a race right now. He's trying to, it looks like, trace possibly the shape of a motor mount and hopefully get that replaced in time for Heat 2B. He's got a challenge ahead of him. Look how badly damaged that is. Back to the Tosti Asti camp. The crew working on just about every angle of that boat right now. Look at the man in the white pants with the red shirt. That's the owner of the boat, Steve Woomer. Done a lot of auto racing. Of course, the owner of Competition Specialties out of Seattle, so he's familiar with working on little time.
Just leave whatever's good on. Whatever's good on.
That's Danny Walters shouting instructions, the acting crew chief for this boat. Very little time to work with to get in for 2A. In fact, here's one of the boats going out now, the Carl Yarling with Jerry Hopp aboard. This is the Executone, and here's the rundown for Heat 2A. The Budweiser, the Tosti Asti, the Renault with Milner Irvin, the Carl Yarling, and the Executone telephones. Here, of course, is the Tosti. The other boat's going out. You see how far behind the Tosti is, getting ready for 2A. And remember this boat back in 1981. It was the Tri-Cities. During testing, when John Walters aboard, suddenly the boat did a 1.5, severely injuring Walters, sending him to the hospital, but he returned to race again the next year. Here is that same boat. Hardly looks the same, doesn't it? With the new cowling, the new design there, and Steve Reynolds hopes to go out and gather some more points aboard the Tosti here in 2A. Chip Hanauer watching from the sidelines with his crewmen aboard the Atlas Van Lines here in the pits. And now from under the Madison Milton Bridge down the Ohio River, here they come now for Heat 2A. What a traffic jam with the Miss Renault in lane number 1, the Budweiser in lane 2, and look at the great start by Jim Kropfeld and the Budweiser. The beer boat in first place in lane number 2 as they come around the west turn. On the inside is the Miss Renault with Milner Irvin. The Tosti Asti in roughly third place as they go around the west turn. Acceleration on a part of those Griffin engines and the Budweiser. Look at Milner Irvin, though, coming up in lane number 1. In second place is the Miss Renault, challenging the Budweiser going down that long back chute here on the Ohio River. The Budweiser, Jim Kropfeld in first place. Third place goes to Tosti Asti and Steve Reynolds in the turbine-powered boat. Their backup boat, as a matter of fact, the Budweiser into the east turn with Jim Kropfeld out of Cincinnati, Ohio. He's in lane 2 with Milner Irvin still with the inside position. He has the shortest route around the course here on this 2.5-mile course in Madison, Indiana. Here comes Milner Irvin on the inside in that beautiful yellow Stodegert designed and built boat. Coming down to complete lap number 1, the Budweiser and the Renault. Lap speed 110 miles per hour for the Budweiser, 109 for the Miss Renault. Tosti Asti in third place, speed 103.077. Back into the west turn. Allison-powered boat, that being the Renault, with Milner Irvin aboard. The Budweiser, Jim Kropfeld, staying safely to the outside. I would imagine those two are simply having a lot of fun right now. But look at the great job of turning by Milner Irvin. He's holding on to a slim lead as they go down the back straightaway here on the Ohio River. The Budweiser, the Miss Renault, Milner Irvin, and Jim Kropfeld having a ball going down the back chute. It looks like the Budweiser has a slight lead now as they go down towards the east turn and under the bridge one more time. The Budweiser in first place. On the left of your screen, the Tosti Asti in third place, but hard-charging George Johnson in the Executone telephone, moving up to overtake third place as they go into the turn. The Budweiser back in first place. The Griffin engines, you can hear them, a familiar sound, a fluttering, powerful sort of sound from the Griffin. On the inside, though, here comes Milner Irvin again in the Miss Renault. He's driving a sensational race. Milner Irvin, his second year in that boat, holding on to second place against the Bud. Second place again to Milner Irvin. Here's your battle for third and fourth place. Executone telephone on the inside, the Tosti Asti on the outside with Steve Reynolds. Again, back to the Budweiser coming out of the turn. You see the relationship between the first and second and third and fourth place boats. Jim Cropfeld holding on to a lead now against Milner Irvin and the Miss Renault. He lengthens that lead a bit as he accelerates down the back straightaway. Milner Irvin, an electrical contractor out of Coral Gables, Florida. He raced in race number 1 in '84 in front of many hometown fans down in Miami. Again, the battle for third and fourth place. You've got George Johnson with great position on the inside, the shortest route around the course, but I would imagine a little more acceleration on the part of the Tosti Asti. The Budweiser holding on to first place. The water seems to be a bit calmer now than it was in heats 1A and 1B. There's the relationship between first and second place. The Budweiser in first. Speed 105.189 for the Budweiser. Again, a great battle for third and fourth place. That being George Johnson, the former offshore racer for the Executone Telephones people, a part owner of that boat. Steve Reynolds on the outside, the Vietnam veteran, former helicopter pilot coming down the outside in that turbine boat. They're not going all that fast, 103 and 100 miles per hour as they battle for third and fourth place. A great show, though, for the fans. The Budweiser coming down the back chute for the last time here in Heat 2A. Milner Irvin and the Miss Renault in second place, the boat owned by Jerry Shadon out of Detroit, Michigan. And, of course, we go to Detroit next week. Here again is the battle for third and fourth, and George Johnson overtaking the Tosti Asti going down the back chute. He is now in third place. In fourth place is the Tosti Asti. The Budweiser clearly in front, in control, and he will take Heat 2A, 400 points for the Budweiser and Jim Cropfeld. So the Budweiser picks up another 400 points. The Miss Renault 300. Executone Telephones, third place. Tosti Asti fourth. And the Miss Carl Yarling came in fifth place. And now down to the pits again with Jim Hendrick.
Let's catch a man who's had his fastest action of 1984 and quite a battle with the Bud, and for 2 laps it was like deck to deck, Miller.
Hey, Jim, it's fun when you can race like that. Of course, I trust Jim, and it's nice to race with somebody that you trust and can run with.
Side by side, you have to trust the other guy.
You really do. It's just too big a gamble to go out there unless you know what the other man's going to do. And I can, Jim's an expert at it, and he knows what he's going to do, and I know what I'm going to do.
The Renault cab coming right along, you're getting more competitive.
Well, it's awfully rough out there, Jim. I think it's about as fast as I want to run, but we're making improvements.
All right, James, and I think I can speak for Jim when I say it is darn tough covering these races. Darn tough. We'll be back with Heat 2B in just a moment.